Once you do that first porn scene and your video hits the internet, you can never go back to that innocence. The girls think everyone has seen what they've done, and this brings them feelings of great shame. This is what the producers and agents count on, to keep these young women there so they can continue to use and abuse them. There's sex predators disguised as entertainment agencies that recruit the girls through social networking systems and national casting calls. MySpace is the #1 recruiting tool of the sex industries. It's like having a catalog of young women and children to peruse through. Choose a girl and recruit her into sexual slavery. It's as easy as becoming her friend on the internet. Young people are talking online about their lives and their problems every day in our country. There are sexual predators out there who take that information and then they will use it to target our women and children. This is how the girls so easily are recruited to the sex industries. It's why right here in America they can so easily end up as a victim of sex trafficking. These girls are making decisions that will affect the rest of their lives. Yet they have no idea how these actions affect their futures because our internet, media, and television sources are telling them all it's a lot of fun and easy money to be a part of the entertainment industries. Once a girl goes into porn, especially if someone influential wants her as their sex slave, she has a very small chance of getting out without some major assistance. The porn industry does their best to break her down and take her soul, so she can't leave them unless they decide they are through with her. If they decide they don't want to use her anymore, they will do whatever they can to destroy her. They try to push her to commit suicide so she can't speak out against them. They want people to think she's just some crazy porn whore, so they will post the most damaging things on the internet to discredit and ruin her reputation. They will take her down so no one will believe her if she tries to speak out about what they've all been doing to abuse her. The porn industry works hard to keep their assets from leaving through isolation, intimidation, and fear. They use all the typical methods of mind control that cult leaders use when building their secret societies. The porn industry is just that. It's a secret society of sexual predators. These young women and children are their assets that can be sold over and over and over again. Remember, selling women and children for sex is only third behind selling illegal weapons and drugs in our country. The sex industries are growing bigger and more powerful every day. Their goal is to be #1. Whether it be stripping, escorting, or performing in porn, once a girl ends up in one of the sex industries, they make it very hard, if not impossible, for her to leave and survive. If a performer does leave and speaks out against the industry, as I'm doing here today, they will harass, threaten, and stalk you to take away your very hope of survival. I have received death threats for over a year now. They regularly release my personal information in public forums, including my real name and my location. They spread horrible lies online, attaching my real name and stage name to degrade and slander me everywhere. They do this because they know potential employers now Google their applicants. They do whatever they can to hurt my chances of getting a real job and keeping one. They know I can't afford an attorney to put a stop to their destruction of my life. They know that police agencies can't do much to help me because our court systems don't uphold the laws we already have in our books. The court system says they can't win our cases because we're really just porn whores. I cannot imagine how younger women and teenagers leave the industry and survive. They will try to take away any hope you have of living a normal life again. You see, if a woman succeeds in leaving the porn industry and speaks out against them and people listen, she educates others so people will understand what's really happening to these young women in our own country. Very few women make it out of the porn industry, and if they do, they normally have to go into hiding. Instead, girls either become industry sex slaves, or if not, they're much more likely to die than to get out and go on with their lives. The industry is full of illegal activities and criminals. Many of the men in the porn industry have criminal records in assault, drugs, molestation, rape. The producers of porn will even tell you they break the laws of our country every day. They brag in mainstream media and Hollywood promotions about how they get away with breaking the law. They say no one's going to stop them from continuing to do business the way that they do. They tell us because we're just porn whores, no one really cares what they do to us. And so far our country isn't showing these girls anything different with their refusal to take down these criminals. The porn industry is exploiting our legal system to perpetrate their crimes against humanity. This is happening in every major city in America. It's happening in every neighborhood. There are thousands of young women and children who go to LA, Miami, and New York every year. There's women from all over the world coming to these international hubs in our country where human sex trafficking is flourishing right now as we all meet here. Women and children are being bought and sold in America every day through our porn industry. It's a hard fact to swallow, but it's true. There are sexual predators out there capitalizing on our young women and children's innocence. These women and children deserve safety and respect in their lives. We as a nation need to realize that for each and every woman or child we allow to be degraded, abused, and sold in our sex industries, there's not a single woman in our world who is safe from becoming a victim of human sex trafficking. As young men continue to be exposed to free porn and see women being used as sexual objects to degrade and abuse, Porn Valley is simply training these same men to be the next generation of sexual predators by addicting them all to their product. And if the men in our country weren't buying human beings to use as their personal sex slaves and getting away with it, there'd be no women and children to be bought and sold as reusable assets in our country. As a nation, we have to stand up and say enough is enough to these crimes. We're talking about American citizens' basic human rights being violated in a country that promises equality and freedom. Porn is a case of hypocrisy we are selling in a country that promises freedom. As I started to do the research in my quest to share my story and provide hardcore facts to back what I'm saying, I found there's many different issues we are facing in America that are directly related to porn. Over the next few weeks I will be addressing these issues for topics of discussion. I've found not enough people are addressing these issues, and they sure aren't sharing the truth. As usual when it comes to sex in America, we hide behind closed doors and pretend that sex isn't real. We have the politics of porn to deal with, like the Supreme Court's decision against stopping our children's exposure to hardcore porn on the internet. There is the issue of porn and sex addiction, which now afflicts millions of porn consumers in America. There's the fact that most consumers of porn think it's real-life sex instead of a fantasy sold to addict them. We have over 200,000 women and children being bought and sold for sex in America every year, and that number is growing instead of decreasing. The fact is, many of our own politicians and other leaders of our country are consumers of the sex industries, both through their porn use and by renting their mistresses who are escorts. These are all topics I'll be talking about because it's high time somebody started addressing them. Please take the time to contact your politicians and tell them you want women and children to be safe in our country. Tell them to start enforcing the laws that we already have on our books to fight against the crimes of the porn industry. Support organizations like those you can find on DesiFox.com in helping women and children to regain their freedom and their lives from the hands of these criminals. Go to DesiDivine.com to find links to our government leaders and these charitable organizations. We need our nation to open their hearts and their minds in order to save these young women from human sex slavery. We need help to move them back into the real world so they can go on with healthy and productive lives. I want you all to remember, women are human beings, not somebody's sex toys. We need your respect, your compassion, and your love, not the abuse and degradation